All right, welcome to another edition of the 24th Floor. You know, we always talk high school football during this time of the week, and we got to get to that with as far as some of the teams that are really making a name and making a push when it comes to playoff time. For that, we turn, of course, to Rich Denson for our big idea.
It's week 7 of high school football, and you can count on one hand how many unbeaten teams there are left in the Memphis area. 4. Let's roll that big idea stinger. Four teams, Germantown, Southwind, Covington, and Mumford. 2 of those teams, Germantown and Covington, cruised to victories in week 6. The other 2, Southwind and Mumford, clawed their way to victory. We'll touch on Southwind's victory more a bit later in the show, but the underlying theme here is just how hard it is to maintain that standard of excellence. But a team that's also emerging is a team that knows what it's like to be undefeated at this stage in the season. I'm talking about the Collierville Dragons. They were 6-0 this time last season. This season, they have 2 blemishes on their record, but they have come on strong lately, ending Arlington's undefeated streak a few weeks ago and picking up a pivotal region win against Bartlett just last week.
So, speaking of the Dragons, they will be our latest game of the week as they host the Craigmont Chiefs.
So joining us now on the 24th floor, the head man in charge of the Collierville Dragons who look to get their 3rd straight victory, head coach Joe Racconi. Welcome to the program, Coach.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Appreciate you taking the time right now to, I know you're busy, you're actually working, unlike us. We appreciate you taking the time, though, to take a few minutes to talk to us. Let's get right to it. Tell me what you're seeing out of your team right now compared to maybe at that first week of the season.
I think we've gotten better each and every week. I was pleased where we were the first week of the season, but, obviously if you're going to make any kind of run at postseason, or at the end of our season, you have to continually get better. And that was one of the main reasons why we scheduled like we did, try to make it as tough as possible. And really, I think those teams were good for us to expose some things early that we needed to see to work on, as the season unfolds. And I think that was really beneficial for us. We got to continue to do that with the rest of our opponents, but pleased on where we are right now.
Coach, you talk about scheduling. You had a stretch where 3 weeks straight you played Mississippi schools. So talk to me about how that was like playing teams that's not even the same state of you and then coming out of that, and now you finally get a Tennessee stretch.
Yeah, well, first off, and I know other coaches in our area are feeling the same thing, especially in our region. It was challenging to schedule. First off, when TWSA split the regions, we had to go find 6 non-conference games, and that's not easy for any school. And then, when you're a bigger school and a 6A school, a lot of people, are hesitant. And now we wanted to try to get some out-of-state schools. I was actually talking to schools really all over the place, Florida, Georgia, Alabama, a lot of southern schools, and then Missouri schools, things like that. It just happened to work out that it was 3 Mississippi schools that, we were able to book those games. So playing against them is tough. We know they're very, very good, very competitive teams, of course, and been very successful, rich traditions on all 3 of those schools. And, the unknown, not seeing them every year, there's a little more unknown and trying to find out about them, especially early in the season, I think was the biggest challenge. Like when we played Oxford, we had a game already under our belt, and we were their first game. So even when we, traded film, we're just getting the Jamboree film, and they got our, whole first game. So not saying that's why that game went that way, but obviously, so we, that was definitely a challenge, but we were, again, I think those, looking back on it, even in a short while ago, those teams have helped us. Even the 2 losses that we got from Oxford and MRA And I would rather learn from winning more than losing, but losing those games and how we lost, showed a lot of character and fight in our guys and grit, and then other things we needed to work on. So it kind of exposed some things that we had to draw more attention to, and that's what we've been doing.
Coach, talk to me a little bit about you got yourself a little Ashton Gentry guy in that backfield. I say little, he's not little at all. Lawrence Autry, that guy can run. He is tough to bring down, averages about 107 yards a game. I think he's got like 8 touchdowns already on the season. Talk a little bit about how important and impactful he is. Yeah,
I mean, Lawrence is, as the kids would say, stupid talented. He's a ridiculous athlete. But more importantly, I mean, he's a tough kid. He's a very, very hard worker. He has become one of our leaders here in a short amount of time. And I've said this to many people, the thing I probably like the most about Lawrence is he wants to be coached constantly. And he is all ears from not just me, but all of our position coaches, his running back coach, and he's constantly searching for feedback, really on every play, and he's like that at practice all the time. And that's been a great example to so many other guys because the kid's good, and he was good, before all that, and but he's trying to be greater than that, and he's also very unselfish too, and that's been also a very pleasant thing to see from a talented running back. He's willing to do whatever it takes, whether it's, pass protecting, not being a decoy, but, maybe we release him on some things and throw elsewhere. I mean, he's very unselfish, cares about the team, and loves to be coached. So that's going to take him even further.
Coach, this Friday will be the first time we've got a chance to get up on personal eye at your all's team. Now, obviously last year, like I talked about, y'all were undefeated at this point in time. If I was a viewer who was checking out Collierville for the first time this season, how would you describe your ball club?
It's a great question. Because I think, everybody's going to see different stuff. I mean, especially with fans and parents, and, they're going to kind of view us in different ways. What I would like to describe us as is a tough team, a gritty team. I think we're a pretty complete team. I think on offense we're extremely balanced. That's what we want to be with run and pass, and have the guys to do it. And our coaches are doing a great job there on that side of the ball. And then defensively, we, would like to be known as, relentless and tough. And, we only returned 2 starters from last year's team on defense. So seeing our kids, mature quickly and having to grow up quicker than normal and try to gain some experience, I think has been really, really important this year. And they've done that. So, and I hope, that you come out and you're going to see a bunch of guys who love to play the game and excited to play, and a lot of fire and energy on our sidelines and on the field and in the stands. And I think our environment, on top of all that, our game day environment is better than anybody. So I hope y'all see that as well.
Coach, we're going to let you go. We got to touch base. Full disclosure, one of your assistants is my assistant, Big Daniel.
Oh, yeah, Montiel.
Yeah, his son plays on my son's flag football team.
He told me.
Yeah, first couple of weeks we were scoring a bunch of points. He said, man, I thought you were a genius. Now we're scoring 6 points a game and we can't figure it out. So I'm going to try to pick some things up at the game this week. Just so everybody's on the same page, our game of the week is Craigmont at Collierville. Collierville Dragons going to be at home. We will be there live at 5 and 6 with your weather and your sports. We'll have a complete wrap-up coming up at 10 o'clock that night as well. Coach, I'll be out there live. We may not have live weather this week. We'll be live sports for sure. I'll be out there live all day long and all evening long. We'll get there about 4:30, so we'll get everybody caught up on everything they need to know about the game. Coach, appreciate your time today. Get back to teaching them kids.
You got it. Will do. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, time for a quick break. Another team that we talked about on this program, the Southwind Jaguars, Ruben. When we come back, we'll talk about the barn burner they had against Briarcrest. Stay close.
Yeah.
Welcome back. You oftentimes hear me say on this program how we like to give people and teams their flowers on this program. So while this team is not featured in this week's Game of the Week, they've been on a run thus far this season that you could say almost every week they play is Game of the Week worthy.
Yeah, that's right. We're talking about the Southwind Jaguars, who, by the way, we're in our first game of the week of the season. They won that game over Los Angeles. We were there, and you guys haven't turned back since.
So joining us now on the program, the head man in charge of the Jags, head coach Jerome Griffin. Coach, I was out there last Thursday when you beat Briarcrest, and I must say it was like a heavyweight bout. Teams just trading touchdowns. You prevailed in that game 48-42, but a casualty of that was the scoreless streak, because before that game, the team hadn't given up any points since that week 1 game of the week against Los Angeles. So tell me a little bit about all of that.
Yeah, so we had a couple of games we had shutouts, but coming into that last week we played Briarcrest, which was a really good team. I thought Hudson Tucker's a really good quarterback, and I knew that they were a well-balanced team. So I knew we had our hands full. We gave up some points, but we still came out with the victory.
Now, he's being very modest, which I appreciate. It's 4 shutouts is what it is in 6 games.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of games without giving up any points. And I think you guys averaged something like 77 yards a game on defense that you give up. It's a crazy low number. So talk a little bit about how that defense, because we always talk offense, but let's talk about how that defense has stepped up for you this year.
Well, the defense has played hard. They're anchored by Charles Sutherland, defensive tackle. So, those guys rally to the ball. They practice really hard, and we won't shutouts every week, but it just depends on who you're playing and the skill level to get the guys you're going against. So, they did a good job, and we just got to go week to week and looking for another shutout.
Now, Coach, it might be because you're wearing the purple, but I say when I watch your team play, it reminds me a lot of the Ravens, and your quarterback, Kelvin Perkins, reminds me a lot of Lamar. Now, I know it was a lot of attention that's been put on him coming into the season, him being a former Mr. Tennessee guy. Talk to me about the growth you've seen from him this season.
Yeah, so Kevin is coming into a 3-year starter. He started mid-year of his freshman season. So every year I think he's gotten better, and now it's his senior year. I think he reads defenses a lot better. The opportunity to run, he takes a little more this year. And I just think that, you can really compare him to Lamar because he's very active. He can throw really good, but he also runs 4.5. So, he can do a whole lot for you.
Ruben, can you run that fast?
I can run about a 45. I ain't running no 4.5. Speaking of Mr. Perkins, I think he averages something like 260 yards a game of total offense. He's got 18 passing touchdowns, 24 total touchdowns on the year, somewhere in that mark. This kid really can do it all.
Yeah, he can, and like I said, this year we've been balanced, and I know his passing yards ain't no way up there like it's been the last couple of years, but we've taken what the defenses have given us, and defenses have they have played soft and played us a lot more for the pass, so we've handed the ball off, and he's respected that, and at the end of the day we just want to win.
Yeah.
Going back to that Briarcrest game, what did you learn about your team in that to be able to go back and forth and still be able to prevail in the end?
So the Briarcrest game was good for us because I think it was a game that kind of humbled us. You get out there and you have all these games that you're holding people to zeros, and people start telling you how good you are. So I think the Briarcrest game was good for us in the fact that it was a dogfight, and we gave up some points, and the kids played hard, and nobody pointed a finger. We adjusted, and and we just played to win.
Isn't it something that it's just the private schools that are putting up the points, but then these public schools, y'all are whooping up on them? So that was just so interesting to me.
Yeah, well, hey, private school ball is good ball. They have kids that are coached really well. They come out of good systems, so it's a little different from public to private as far as playing games.
Let's talk a little bit about what you guys have to do this week. Talk a little bit about this week's matchup and kind of what you guys have to do to get prepared to continue doing what you've been doing well.
Yeah, so this week we have Kirby High School, so it's another week we just want to be 1-0. So Kirby is a team that a spread team that throw the ball a lot. So it's one of those games where we have to be disciplined, stay in our lanes, and make sure everybody is covering who they're supposed to cover and covering the area they're supposed to cover.
Easier said than done sometimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, Coach, I know it's easy to kind of look ahead of the schedule. And I know, like, you have to stay in the moment about focusing on who you have. But when you look at you guys, you almost kind of like still got a murderer's row ahead. You got Whitehaven, you got Germantown, which will surely probably be our game of the week. Just tell me, how do you keep the guys focused? Because I know when I was an athlete, I'm looking at my schedule and I'm like, okay, we got them, we got them. How do you keep the guys focused in the moment?
Well, we just preach 1-0. Right now we 1-0 this week, and Kirby's up next, so we just want to deal with Kirby. And when we get through with Kirby, we enjoy the weekend. Sunday evening, we start to prepare for the next game. So at this point, the guys understand. A couple of years ago we were 13-1. We made it one game from the state championship, and the guys understand how hard it is. So they understand that, hey, let's just focus on what we got ahead of us. And as we get on the season, Whitehaven's going to show up, Germantown's going to show up, and you just have to be ready at that point. But right now, it's Kirby's time.
Well, you just mentioned something that I was going to ask you about. Is you mentioned you have a mix. You got some youth on defense and some a little bit more veterans on offense. Are those seniors helping these younger players understand how long this season really is and what it takes to get to that state championship level? Yeah,
they are. So, like, the guys that are seniors were with us when we was 13-1. Kevin, Charles Sutherland's a team's captain, so they understand the grind, and and they lead by example. We hard with getting in the weight room every day, lifting hard, conditioning. Trying to have your body treated right, because a lot of games you get 12, 13 games, and then especially when you get into the playoffs, a lot of teams are run heavy, so it's a lot of grind on the body of tackling every play. So I think those guys do a good job of leading the team.
Tell me how you guys kind of feed off that home crowd energy. Now, I got to say, in comparison to probably some of the other schools like a Whitehaven or Germantown, it's not going to be as raucous, but you all find a way to channel that energy from the band onto the fans to the ringing the bell. Tell me about, and then it's like, it's muddy. At least I'll say at that last game, it was real muddy, you know what I'm saying? So tell me how you kind of use that grit and grind mentality, which is what the city of Memphis is known for, to kind of play into your favor. Yeah,
of course. Anytime you're playing at home, that home crowd just gives you that energy to go. We got somebody ringing the bell, we got somebody blowing a horn. That's all the home cooking. Those kids kind of meditate to that and let them know, hey, you at home, you got your fans supporting you. Let's give a little extra effort.
Well, they do it on the road, too. When we were at that Los Angeles game, I'm telling you, they had the horns and the megaphones, and they were not quiet at all. Your fans not afraid to make themselves known.
Yeah.
All right, Coach, before we get out of here, let's touch base real quick on, maybe somebody hasn't watched the Southwind game yet. Maybe they haven't come out and checked you guys out. What would you say to somebody who maybe has heard you guys are pretty good but hasn't come and seen it for themselves?
Hey, Southwind is a great football program. The school is a great school. Come out. Like this week, we're at Kirby. Next Friday is a big game, Whitehaven at Southwind. Come support. Come to the game. Come see some good high school football. Come early.
Arguably one of the best teams in the nation. Yeah, I said it. Yeah. I think I don't want to spew no rat poison. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta say on this program, I do believe y'all are one of, if not the best team in the Memphis area. But I know for y'all, it's 1-0 every week.
1-0.
All right, we'll keep you 1-0 right here. I'm not jinxing nothing. I'm just gonna let you ride and keep doing what you're doing. If something bad happens, you know who to holler at.
Hey,
right?
man.
All right.
Hey, I'll take it.
As long as we're on the same page.
He like playing it safe on this program. He ain't never gonna give no take.
Thanks a lot, Coach, for your time. We appreciate you. Best of luck this week and going forward.
Yes, sir.
Thank you,
man.
All right,
thank you guys for having me. Next break when we come back.
Yes, sir. It's time for a quick break because we got 901 bets coming up. I got something a little bit different I'm going to show you. Stay close. What up, and welcome to the 901 Bets. Think of this as sports betting for dummies right here in Memphis. Now, before we get rolling, quick reminder, if gambling has become a problem for you, hit that Tennessee Gambling Hotline, that number right on your screen, 800-889-9789. All right, y'all, for today's Bankroll Basics, we're breaking down what it means to fade. Now, to fade means you're betting against a team, a player, or even a trend. Think of it like saying, I'm not buying the hype, something that Ruben probably says a lot on this program. Now, say the Grizzlies are red hot in the win column, but Ja Morant and the starters are on the second night of a back-to-back. Everyone in Memphis is probably going to load up on the Grizzlies to cover. That line might be inflated. A fade would mean you're actually betting on the other team, figuring the Grizz might be a little gassed. Or let's say the Memphis Tigers are playing in March Madness and the public is all over Memphis to blow out a mid-major, much like last season when they played Colorado State. The number climbs higher and higher. Now, a sharp bettor might fade the public, take the other side, because the value's no longer on Memphis. So fading isn't about hating on your team. It's about spotting when the odds are stacked too far one way and slipping on the other side. All right, y'all, let's get ahead of the line, and I'll do something different this time around. I'll talk MMA, UFC. I'm talking about UFC 320, Alex Pereira versus Magomed Ankalaev for the light heavyweight bout. I'm taking Pereira to win at plus 176. Now, Ankalaev's got wrestling, but he's no Khabib or Islam Makhachev. Pereira actually held his own last time, but now he's under pressure. He's got to be aggressive, go forward, and reclaim that belt. If he loses, this might be his last UFC fight. The key, though, kicks. If Pereira comes out kick heavy, works behind him, and keeps Ankalaev guessing, he can flip this rematch and eventually land that knockout punch that has put so many people away. So my futures play Alex Pereira at plus 176 to get his title back and maybe set up a trilogy fight. And as always, send me your takes. If you have a betting terminology you're unsure of, send it my way. Want my opinion on a slip or ticket you have? Send it my way. And man, if you even want to spotlight your W, we will give you your flowers on this program because we have fun over here, man. At me on X at RD2 Sports, text the number 901-321-7520, or just use the hashtag ABC24Floor. But in saying all, remember folks, producer Jared, bring it up one more time. This content is for entertainment purposes only. ABC24 and its affiliates do not encourage gambling. Viewer discretion is advised. Any betting decisions you make are solely your responsibility. We're not responsible for any financial losses or wins resulting from information presented on this program. Time for a quick break. When we come back, it is the best thing we saw this past week. Stay close.
All right, it's time for the best thing I saw first. And let me tell you what it was. It's this red zone action by the Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud getting it into the end zone there.
Woody Marks.
Let me tell you why this is the best thing I saw. Because this game was between the Texans and who?
The Titans.
The Titans, who I said was the worst team in the league, who you argued was not. You said, in fact, that you thought the Texans were worse than the Titans.
No, I said the Saints
You said
were
the
worse.
Saints and Texans.
I didn't mention the Texans. We could pull the tape. I didn't mention the Texans at all.
I'm making the point that the Texans, who were also a winless team,
okay,
the Texans and the Titans, neither one had been in the red zone yet all season.
Not
Texans
in the red zone or not scored in the red zone?
They hadn't been, they ain't smelt the red zone yet. The Texans get the touchdown in the red zone. That means the Titans still never got to the red zone for the entire game.
So the Titans haven't been in the red zone yet?
They ain't been in the red zone in the game.
Not within the 20?
Not yet. And so that's why I asked you the other day, hey, how many points did the Saints score?
19.
19. How many points did the Titans score?
Nothing.
That's
but
right.
the Saints are still the worst team in the league.
How can they be the worst team in the league when they're at least scoring?
Still haven't won a game. I mean, the Titans haven't, but
And they can't score.
I'm pretty sure the Titans will win a game before the Saints win a game. You can quote me on that.
The best thing I saw was the Texans getting a touchdown in the red zone for the first time.
You are really trying to endear yourself to like Titans haters here in Memphis.
I'm just trying to spit some serious facts.
Can you tell on this program who is your team?
Facts for you. Philadelphia Eagles would be my top.
When have you ever mentioned you're an Eagles fan?
Because
I thought you're
I'm not
from
over
Houston.
the top.
Like when you should be like Cowboys or Texans.
Let me explain it to you. because you're so young, you don't understand. Let me help you with some wisdom. I was a Houston fan when they were the Houston Oilers.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
When they left and became the Tennessee Titans and then the Houston Texans, nobody who was a Houston Oilers fan really vibed with either of those. The only people who are Houston Texans fans are the people who actually physically live in Houston now because that's the team that they have. But all of us who were Houston Oilers fans back in the day, because I wasn't a Dallas Cowboy fan because you could only be an Oiler or a Cowboy fan.
Okay.
I was an Oiler fan. I was a Haywood Jeffries. I was a Warren Moon. I was an Oiler fan. And the reason why I became an Eagles fan is because the Oilers no longer existed.
Okay.
And my favorite quarterback was Donovan McNabb, and I also really enjoyed watching Randall Cunningham.
I remember you saying Randall Cunningham. That's
Randall
what I was about
Cunningham,
to say.
Donovan McNabb.
Okay, so this is personal to you for real about this Titans and Texans thing. Okay, I got you, Ruben. All right, let's get on to my best thing since we're talking about I told you so.
All right,
my best thing tend to be just the environment, Ruben. Now, I don't know if you'll ever go to an Ole Miss football game, but look at that, a beauty at Vaught Hemingway Stadium, just red all around for the LSU game. And what did I tell you, Ruben? It was going to be some Trinidad flags in the stands, and it was. Yes, I love to see the LSU band because I'm a band guy.
Where's the flags?
It's coming. It's coming. I mean, it's kind of buried in all that
Where's
red.
The flags?
It's all, but the crowd energy, Ruben, for the game.
Where's the flags?
Ole Miss got the victory over LSU.
No, I don't see a flag.
It's in the crowd, dude. Do you see all that red?
What is there? Producer Jared, do you see a flag in there somewhere? No?
Are you just,
okay.
but the biggest thing was Ole Miss got the victory, 24-19. I told you so. It was the biggest game in Oxford.
I did not doubt that Ole Miss could win that game. I'm not.
I was talking about if Ole Miss wins, we're going to get a flag, which we will have a flag on this program later this week, and I'm going to get a Trinidad flag.
So the best thing you saw was Ole Miss's environment, which I think is huge because I think one of the best things I heard was after the fact, Coach Kiffin saying, look, the fact that we didn't storm the field tells you how far our program has come.
The reason they didn't storm the field was because of what happened with Virginia and Florida State.
So we were
watching that game.
But he made that point anyway, right? He was like, we've come this far where this is not like this is something people expect us to do at this point in time. The bigger thing that you could have said was that several weeks ago you said that you thought Trinidad Chambliss was QB1, and I wasn't sold on it yet. But by now you are correct.
Yes.
After watching him for 2 to 3 weeks, it is easy to see that dude is good.
Now he's in the Heisman race.
So, which I don't do very often, I'm going to give you your credit.
Thank you.
For something you were correct on.
Can you say that again?
I'm going to give you your credit for something you were correct on, but I'll also point out the fact that you also said you thought the Atlanta Dream would win the WNBA championship. Did they lose already? Somebody tell me. Did they lose? Okay.
They did.
They lost.
But I'm not mad that they lost because the team that they lost to is arguably about to go to the finals.
Doesn't matter. You were still.
It still doesn't. I mean, all right. One more quick thing I got to say about Ole Miss. If I can get a one shot. I never thought in my life that I would support the Ole Miss Rebels as much as I do. I remember when I was in college at Oklahoma State, which you also went there, but well before my time. So me being an Atlanta kid going to college in Oklahoma State used to pass through Memphis and Oxford. So I would always drive by Ole Miss's campus, and I'd have all these thoughts that I can't say on this program because it's NSFW. But to look at here in 2025 and see how much I really align and feel for this team, I almost feel like I'm a rebel. I almost feel like I'm an alum. Like, I love this team. I love this environment. I don't think they're going to win it all, which I was debating with one of our coworkers. But yeah, man, it's crazy how much I like Ole Miss now. Now I'm screaming hotty toddy.
Well, let me know how that goes when you go back to Stillwater. I
haven't been there. I've only been to Stillwater once since I graduated.
That's going to do it for today's episode.
But I am happy that they fired their head coach, Mike Gundy. He's out of there. Gundy be gone.
Today's show possible.
Yes, especially Jared Robinson and Brooklyn High for their work behind the scenes putting the show together. Big shout out to Collierville head coach Joe Riccone and Southwind head coach Jerome Griffin for coming on today to talk some high school football.
Yeah, have a great day, everybody. We'll see you on the other side.
Orange.